Buenas and half a day members and guests. Welcome to our special Coffee with the Candidates event. We were hopeful to have this event in person this year, but unfortunately, we weren't able to make this happen due to the current pandemic restrictions still in place. We are pleased to still be able to bring this experience to you and the board candidates so that you have an opportunity to know who the candidates are, and the candidates have some face time with our voting members. On behalf of the Chamber Board Directors, we would like to thank our nominating committee chairman, Christopher Duenas, and his committee for their work in putting together a great slate of candidates. For many members, being asked to run for the board can be a bit daunting. We continue to encourage the membership to consider the opportunity in the future, as all members are welcome to take part in this process. We are truly grateful to this year's candidates who have said yes, and wish you all much success. I would like to now introduce you to our committee chairman, Chris Duenas, who will provide you with the board election updates and introduce you to our candidates this morning. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Kat. Thank you, and good morning and half a day to all those in attendance, our valuable chamber members and our candidates. Just to give a quick rundown of what today's agenda is going to look like. There are 7 seats available for the 2022 board. 5 of these seats are 3-year voting seats, and 2 of them are 1-year non-voting seats. To be eligible to vote, members need to be in good standing and will receive 1 ballot. And depending on your class of membership, your ballot will be counted according to the number of votes assigned to your membership category. Only 1 authorized representative of a voting member is allowed to vote. If you do not know who this rep is, please contact the chamber office after today's event to learn who your company's voting rep is. Voting members can provide your proxy to another voting member, and a sample letter has been provided via email with special election report information. Ballots will be sent out on November 10th, and ballots will close at noon on November 17th. If you have any other questions that we did not cover in today's event, please feel free to contact the chamber team at the office or send them an email. And then as far as today's format goes, we are going to start off by introducing the different candidates in alphabetical order by last name. And we're going to give each of the candidates a couple of minutes to speak about themselves. There is going to be a clock that we're going to try to hold them to. So this 2-minute, the 2-minute time frame is going to be something we're going to try to stick to as much as we can. And again, there are 12 candidates running for the board. Thereafter, after the initial introductions, we're going to pose questions that the nominating committee has come up. So these questions were predetermined, but the order of assignment to each candidate is going to be random. Yes, the questions were randomly selected, and nominating committee members will ask each candidate 1 question. Again, each candidate has 2 minutes to answer, and if there is time, we'll solicit questions from the membership via the question feature on the platform. Thank you once again for joining us. And now we will get into the candidate introductions. So our first candidate is Mr. William H. Calori. He is a CFO at Cabris Marine Corporation and subsidiaries. Good morning, Will.
Morning, Mr. Chairman. Am I broadcasting loud and clear?
Loud and clear, sir.
Thank you. Hafaday, good morning, everybody. I appreciate the chance to sit with you in our respective places and introduce myself. Some of you, many of you may know me already. As the chairman mentioned, my name is Will Calori. I am the Chief Financial Officer for Cabris Marine, which the group encompasses about 10 different companies, 15 different operations in Guam and Saipan. I was born in Colorado, but I've been in Guam since the late 90s. And have just really made a home here. In recent times, we've been trying to do the best that we can with the challenging COVID environment, and our company has been one of the very fortunate companies that has had success in spite of the many challenges. But that said, I understand the deep challenges that exist out there in our current economy, both from an outside perspective as well as just internal challenges trying to get through the safety protocols. And so together with my fellow board members on the chamber and the 2021 board, we've been working hard to promote economic diversification and development options that really can help businesses from the largest to the smallest to continue to sustain their operations and potentially set themselves up for future growth. I humbly ask for your support for this upcoming chamber year. As I mentioned, I'm an incumbent on the current board, but I'd like to continue my efforts and my energies that have been committed this year to economic development and diversification in Guam. And I think I've got some good traction. So I appreciate your confidence and your support. I would ask that you kindly vote for me for this upcoming chamber board. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Will Kalori. Appreciate everyone sticking to the time frame as well. And for our next candidate that we'll introduce is Ms. Deanna Crisostomo. She is the General Manager at Tommy Hilfiger PVH Corporation.
Hafade and good morning. I hope you all can hear me.
Loud and clear.
Good. My name is Deanna Crisostomo. I am the General Manager for Tommy Hilfiger Guam. I've been there for 6 years now this year, and in total for what I've been doing, I've actually been in retail for the last 20 years, working with companies in Washington as well as in Hawaii, and then finally coming back home and finding my home here at Tommy Hilfiger. Really, this year is for me a challenging event, and for most people, I think that is as far as having your vote in running for a board member for the Guam Chamber of Commerce. I truly appreciate everyone's support, and really my mission is to really focus on new members for the Guam Chamber of Commerce, really trying to take the Guam Chamber of Commerce into this forward thinking while still committing to what we've done in the past in the Guam Chamber of Commerce, and really focusing on making that forward thinking and mission possible for us to continue to build as we build on in our business this year.
Thank you, Deanna. Okay, great. Deanna, thank you very much. And our next candidate that we will introduce is Mr. Frank Cruz. He's the Vice President and General Manager, Guam Fast Foods, Inc., DBA, KFC, and Sbarro's. Good morning, Mr. Cruz. I'm not sure your mic is on. Do you mind checking that?
There we go.
Loud and clear,
Sorry,
sir.
I'm not used to the go-to web seminars. Use the other ones. But Hafade and good morning, everybody. I'm the Vice President and General Manager of Guam Fast Foods. We do business as KFC and Sbarro restaurants. Most of you guys know me. I've been very active, not just on the chamber, but also in other groups of JHRA. I've been with Guam Fast Foods now for 34 years, and I've been always helping out and trying to assist the chamber. And over the past few years, especially with what's going on, it's been very helpful to be a part of this membership. And I just felt it's time to step up and give a little back. In our industry, obviously we're considered frontline when quarantine and shutdowns happen. We're right there to try to help the community. And I know what it's like running the business in these tough times and trying to get through, and I just wanted to try to give back. I'm also very active in sports. I'm the Secretary General and Vice President for Guam Basketball. Some of you guys know that. Still do that. That's something that I just kind of give back to. It's done a lot for me, and I know what it's like, and I really work to try to give back to the businesses now. And I'm humbled for the nomination. And I'm there to try to support and help the chamber grow and get through this. I wasn't born in Guam. I was actually my father was in the military, so I grew up in the military. So I understand what it's like living through that, and I want to also be a part of the not just tourism growth and getting the businesses back, but also be part of the Armed Forces Committee. I kind of owe that to my dad and what he represented, and so I have a passion for that as well. But I just ask for support, and whether I'm elected or not, I'll always be there to assist and hopefully host one of the events at one of our restaurants. Thank you guys again for your time.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Cruz. Our next candidate that we'll introduce today is Mr. Brad Kloppenberg. He's the president and CEO, Kloppenberg Enterprises, Inc.
Hafaday, good morning. Can everybody see me and hear me?
Morning, Brad. I can hear you. I cannot see you.
Okay. There we go. How about now?
There we go, sir.
Okay. Good morning. Hafaday, everybody. My name is Brad Kloppenberg, president of Kloppenberg Enterprises. I've been with Kloppenberg Enterprises for 22 years now. It's a family-owned company started by my grandfather back in 1964. Primarily over the years, we've been a tourism-related business, but about 20 years ago, we started diversifying and doing some other passenger transportation services for the local government and also for the military. Which in today's business climate here has kind of been fortunate for us, that we've diversified out of tourism somewhat, and so we've kind of been able to weather the storm a little bit better than we would have if this had happened years ago. But anyways, I think I think everybody's kind of in the same boat right now, and the challenging times. And so it's a time we kind of all, put all our heads together and resources and see how we can help each other get through this. We've been fortunate with the assistance that everyone's gotten so far, but we're going to need some other ideas as we move forward, especially with tourism kind of being unpredictable on when that's going to restart. So there's definitely some challenges ahead, but I'm excited to have been considered as a nominee, and if I'm elected, I'll do my best, and I'll to serve along with all the other board members in whatever capacity they deem that's right for me, and then I can be the best of service. So I thank you all, and I hope you have the confidence in me. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Brad. Our next candidate that we're going to introduce today is Maureen Maratita, publisher at Glimpses of Guam.
Good morning. Morning.
Morning, Maureen.
So my name's Maureen Maratita. I'm the publisher at Glimpses. Specifically, I look after the publications. We have an event program, and I joined Glimpses in 2000, firstly as an editor, and became managing editor, and then publisher in 2005. I actually had 2 job offers on the same day. I chose Glimpses because I felt an affinity for the business news environment, and I'm still convinced that business is at the heart of the island's commerce. I know that Guam is a big beast, but before the pandemic, I think 75% of our workforce was in the private sector. And I don't have to tell anybody attending today just what happens when our commerce is affected. We've had challenges in the past, but nothing like the pandemic environment. I volunteered within weeks of arriving on Guam in late '93. I still think volunteering is a great way to get to know your community. As far as the chamber is concerned, I was encouraged to join the Small Business Committee, and when Mike Adey was chairman, actually, and under his tutelage, I learned a lot about small businesses and about the chamber. And it's been a privilege to serve on the board. I am an incumbent, and I'm hoping to continue some of the initiatives that this year's board has started. And I thank everybody for their confidence in encouraging me to run again for a second term. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Maureen. Our next candidate that we're going to introduce this morning is Ms. Sandra Mckeever. She's the President and CEO at Asia Pacific Financial Management Group.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Good morning, Sandy, loud and clear.
Okay, great. Hello, everyone. Happy day. My name is Sandra Mckeever, and I am the CEO and President of Asia Pacific Financial Management Group. And we are the only local broker-dealer investment firm on Guam. And it's very, I just wanted to kind of give an idea of what that is basically we do investments for people, and it's our industry for small business broker-dealers it's kind of like an instinct industry. It's a lot of compliance and a lot of work that goes behind it. And so it takes a lot of work, diligence, and I think I can bring to the board all of the experience that I have. We've been in business for over 40 years. And another thing that I'd like to add is we deal with business people like you, our members, and I think it gives me a lot of perspective on so many different industries, because each time that we have a client come on board, we understand, we get to learn about what kind of business they're in, and it kind of opens the window of what they have to go through, what the issues are. And so it really puts me in a really good position to know what is the environment of Guam and the private sector. And so it's really, really humbling to get nominated again. I've been serving on the board for 4 years, and I feel like there's a lot of work to be done still. And that's why I want to continue. When I was nominated again, I felt like, you know what, there's still a lot of work to be done, and I'm not afraid to roll up my sleeves and put some work in it. And so I'm really fortunate to have a lot of insight as a small business owner. I think that's really important because, as you guys all know, as a small business owner, you wear all the hats. From the littlest, yes.
Sorry to interject, Candy. So we're going to go ahead and if you can wrap it up and
Yes.
the time for 2 minutes.
Okay, and that's it. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time.
Thanks so much, Sandy. Okay, our next candidate that we're introducing this morning is Mr. Milton Morinaga. He's a senior advisor, PHR Ken Micronesia Inc.
Hafade, good morning. Thank you for this opportunity to speak before you today. It is a privilege for me, and I'm happy to introduce myself. My career in the tourism industry dates in 1974, when I started my first job as an acting GM, general manager at a small hotel in Honolulu. From there, I started 47-plus-year career in the hotel tourism business and real estate developer. In 1979, I moved to manager position with one of the large U.S. hotel chains, Hyatt Regency Waikiki in Hawaii. Thereafter, I spent 7 years with the Hyatt Regency Hotel in Saipan. In 1990, I moved to Big Island of Hawaii and was directly involved in the development and execution of plans for the development of luxury hotels, including 2 golf courses. My manager position there also involved negotiating with various government agencies to secure government approvals for the development, as well as developing a community outreach program to obtain public support for the proposed development. After seeing the project to a successful completion, I relocated to Guam in 2004 as owner's representative of Hyatt Regency Guam until 2007. And the hotel was sold, and I then took a managing director position of PHR Camp Micronesia, in which I am now hold a senior advisor title. PHR Camp Micronesia owns 6 hotels in Guam, a golf course, and a spa. In 2013, I got involved with the Guam Business Bureau as an elected board director, and presently I'm a chairman of the board. I'm also a board member of Employees Council and hold a VP position at the FBI Citizens Academy Alumni Association. Additionally, as an honorary deputy chief of police here in Guam, one of my main concerns is helping the people keep the residents and visitors safe. Law enforcement is key to a positive change in which turns benefits to everyone. We are just starting to rebound from the impact of coronavirus pandemic. Economically, Guam took a big hit. As tourism is one of our largest industry, we now must work towards recovery.
Hi, Milton.
We should, yeah, two more sentences. We should
Sure.
freshen up our tourism plan, take measures to get people back to work, and look other economic initiatives that complement Guam's many strengths and capabilities. I have made substantial progress in promoting developed business in Guam, but there is still work to be done. I am committed, confident, and I can carry on with the mission of commerce. Thank you for your support, and I'm elected. I look forward working closely with you once again. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, Milton. Our next candidate we're going to introduce this morning is Mr. Tae Oh, President, Vantage Advertising, PSI Holdings, LLC, Lupeng Apartments Corporation, Ivy Educational Services. Good morning, Tae.
Hi, half a day. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, sir.
Okay. Good morning, members of the Chamber and the Nominating Committee. Thank you for giving me this wonderful opportunity to introduce myself. My name is Tae Oh, and I am the owner and president of Vantage Advertising, Ivy Educational Services, Lupeng Apartments, and among other businesses. I am directly involved in different industries. To be exact, I am directly involved in 5 different industries, first being media, education, tourism, petroleum and service station, and also lastly, which is my passion, it's real estate development. As a resident of Guam for 36 years, I've seen the resilience and strength of our business community, especially during times of distress. It's no different today as we struggle with the effects of the pandemic. With my diverse background in different industries, I'm hoping to make an impact in 3 key areas. First, in order to revive our tourism economy, I will put to use my understanding of the Korean outbound market to drive the rebound as soon as we possibly can. Second, in order to build a resilient, affordable housing industry, I'm willing to apply my background as an engineer and a real estate developer to find possible solutions. Lastly, in order to ease supply chain issues, I plan to utilize my network and past experiences in private-public partnership in order to create a sustainable shipping industry. I firmly believe that strong leadership stems from sound decision-making. I believe I'm ready to embark on a new endeavor to steer the Guam Chamber of Commerce to the culmination of excellence. Thank you for this opportunity to introduce myself.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Tae. Our next candidate that we're going to introduce is Ms. Tess Reyes Berrier. She's the Director of Food and Beverage at Lotte Hotel Guam.
Half a day, everyone. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Hi, Tess. I can hear you, cannot see you though.
Okay, hold on, please. There, can you just a minute? Wait. I am. Can you see me now?
Not yet.
Wait, hold on. Audio webcam. There you go. That's already shared. There you go.
Okay,
Can you see me now?
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
half a day, everyone. I'm sorry. Half a day, everyone. First of all, my name is Tess Reyes Berrier. I work at Lotte Hotel as the food and beverage director. I'm not really, I'm all very familiar with the Guam Chamber of Commerce since my career at the Ganyo Shopping Center. I've been there for 19 years, and I've worked with the Chamber Board before and the committee and the staff. I've chaired the Christmas Festival 3 times in a row, and I am not even a board member then. I was a member, but I feel that it's very important that we have to be able to share our talents, our knowledge for the better of the community. Of course, I'm honored that I am nominated to be one of the Chamber Board. I bring over 30 years of executive experience leading diverse teams in multiple industries to include transportation, tourism, retail, and education. Marketing and public relations have always been a special area of my focus throughout my career, and I look forward for the opportunity to bring my expertise to the board, as well as continuously working on the Guam's private sector back on track. Of course, I acknowledge, along with our chamber members, that our island's economic recovery is the utmost important to the livelihood of our community. Our private businesses have continued to persevere through the toughest health crisis we will ever see in our lifetime. I'm committed to persevere with the Chamber Board and the members. I welcome the opportunity to work with the Chamber Board, Chamber staff, and its membership in the upcoming years to execute the organization's strategic vision to be a catalyst for sustainable economic growth that improves the quality of life on Guam. I also stand by the Chamber's mission to develop, enable, promote, and protect the interests of all Guam businesses. Should I be fortunate to serve with the board, you can count on me to work with the board members to pursue a sustainable economic growth. I am humbly ask for your support and confidence in electing me as one of the board member of the Guam Chamber of Commerce. I always say the voice of one speaks for the success of many. Thank you, and please consider me as a board member.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tess.
Thank you.
Our next candidate that we're going to introduce is Mr. Jay Shed. He's the Executive VP, Citadel Pacific Limited Holding Company of, Citadel Pacific Limited Holding Company of IT&E, IP&E, Fujita Properties, DBA ITC Building, Pacific Points, Sol Energy, Micronesia, Traveler, and Turbidite.
Half a day, everyone. Hi, Tess, you're still on? There you are.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, my name is Jay Shed, and I'm the Executive Vice President for Citadel Pacific. Citadel Pacific is the holding company for IT&E and IP&E, Shell and Foodies, the ITC building, our new loyalty program, Pacific Points. We just acquired the Bank of Hawaii building in Agana. We have a company called Travelers, which is a retail business, which was the old DFS Palau, and a new data center business called Turbidite. So that's an awful lot of things, but and I'm involved with all of them. I came to Guam in 1994. I worked in the telecom business. I was the original, well, not the original, I think almost original CEO of Guam Cell Communications, which then became Docomo Pacific. I was a CEO there up until 2014. I went to, and I also worked as CEO of Sorensen Media Group for 4 years. And so I've got experience, a lot of experience in telecom and media. I would say my expertise is in sales and marketing. So I always think that there's nothing that a good marketing program can't do to build your business. I'm very excited to be nominated for a board position. I've been asked to run for the board many times in the past, but I always felt like, you know, I wasn't ready and I wasn't sure that I could put in the time. Now I know I can put in the time. I have the backing of my company, and I'm actually very excited to get involved. I was in the past a member of the Armed Forces Committee with the Chamber, but that was many years ago, and I really enjoyed it, and you know, I enjoy it today, I'm sure. Anyway, I'm thankful for the nomination. I will work very hard. I think you have to be an engaged board member. This is a working board, and so I'm committing to do that. So thank you very much, and I humbly ask for your vote.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jay. Our next candidate that we're going to introduce this morning is Mr. Dave Silva III, Vice President and General Manager, Assurance Brokers, Inc., DBAB Risk Solutions, formerly Aon Insurance Micronesia. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody, and thank you for having me here. Hafaday, my name is Dave Silva. I'm a kid from Guam that grew up in Agana and now lives in Dededo with my wife and 5-year-old daughter. I'm a proud FD boy and a product of the University of Guam with an MBA from Troy University. I volunteer to serve on the Chamber Board because I have something to contribute to the island's recovery and rebuilding. From my experiences in small business, I know what family success feels like. I also know the sting of family loss too. Nothing hurts worse than losing your own money. I spent nearly 8 years at GITA with Ed Antalan, fostering various industries using Guam's QC program as an investment tool. I know about fisheries, film, and captive insurance. In that time, a Hollywood movie was made here. We proved that we could line up Guam businesses to support a film production. It worked. Years later, we are starting to see the fruits of that labor in a fledgling industry. I set up a few captive licensed here too. For a variety of competitive reasons, though, the FSM has found success in enticing Japanese captives investment. With the right fostering, though, Guam can still be a viable insurance domicile, and the same with Pacific-based fishery. I've spent the last 12 years working with a global insurance firm running their Micronesian business. I'm proud to be the first local to hold the regional Aon seat. Mission 1 for me, though, was to grow the local team. My broking team is now amongst the best in Asia, looking after industries such as petroleum, telecom, hospitality, entertainment, logistics, and healthcare, to name a few. Something that has followed me from working in my dad's auto parts store to GITA to today is the need to grow a local team. The most important thing today, though, is to get them back to work. This pandemic has halted our economy. It's put companies out of business and people out of work. As a chamber and as an island, we must roll up our sleeves and begin the hard work of recovery, get people back to work, and help businesses survive. We must collectively work to diversify our economy and influence the rising tide that will float all boats. I volunteer to join this team to rebuild a stronger Guam and a stronger Chamber of Commerce. I'm Dave Silva, and I humbly ask for your vote. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dave. And last but not least, we have Mr. Ed Antalan, Executive Vice President, Guam CNMI Region Manager, First Hawaiian Bank.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Madam President, candidates, and listening members. Thank you for this opportunity to come before you to humbly request your support for the upcoming elections. My name is Ed Antalan. I'm born and raised in Guam. I'm currently the Executive Vice President and Region Manager for First Hawaiian Bank. I've been managing the Guam CNMI region for the last 6 years, with FHB for the last 17 years, in the financial services industry for over 34 years. I'm seeking re-election this year as I have come to better understand the dynamics and importance of the Chamber over the last 3 years. There's so much to do considering the impact the pandemic has had on our business community. I am fortunate to currently sit on the Executive Committee as the Vice Chairman and to direct the refresh of the Chamber strategic plan. My focus over the next year, if re-elected, will be the full implementation of the strategic plan, ensuring that the Chamber remains the voice, the advocate, the champion of the business community and protecting its interests. I humbly request your consideration and support for my re-election. Thank you, and Siduus Maasi.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ed. So that concludes the introduction portion of our program this morning. And the next thing we're going to do is get into the candidate one-on-one questions. And just as a reminder, the way this will work is we have randomly assigned and selected questions, and one of the nominating committee members will be asking the question to the candidate, and the candidates are going to be given 2 minutes to respond, and then we will move on to the next candidate thereafter. So to open up the question and answer format, we have Ms. Candy Okuhama of our nominating committee asking Mr. Dave Silva her question.
Can you
Candy?
hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. Hi, Dave. How are you?
Hi, good morning.
Thanks for accepting the nomination. And
happy to.
okay, since you're the first one, we're going to make this one really hard. What do you know about the Guam Chamber of Commerce's mission?
Thanks. Excellent question, and happy to be first. So let's start with the chamber mission, right? So the chamber seeks to develop, enable, promote, and protect the interest of all businesses. Absolutely clear. I feel this is absolutely the chamber's promise to its members. These action words are very, very clear. We have an obligation to develop our members' capabilities, enable them to succeed, promote their products and services, and vigorously protect their interests when threatened and when the opportunities are presented. It's essentially what every member, from the husband and wife home-based company to the 1,000-employee construction company, expects from its chamber. It's what they pay for, and it's what they look to for support, not just in a pandemic, but always. It's crucial that the chamber is visible in the community, active in its mission. As a board member, I will contribute to this effort to deliver on the chamber's promise.
Thank you, Mr. Silva.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
Thank you all.
All right. The next question is going to come from our nominating committee member, Mika Caldwell. She will be asking Will Kalori her question.
Good morning, Will. I don't see you yet. Hi, there you are. Good morning. So what do you think are the characteristics of a great board member?
Aside from yourself, you guys, and the chairman, well, really what it comes down to is having the time and the energy and the commitment to be involved. This is a very intensely involved and working board. It requires quite a bit of sacrifice. It almost is life-changing. I think some people who lead the way the best agree that it's almost a life-changing kind of sacrifice to really drive these initiatives that the chamber is responsible for forward. But the success of the chamber is really the success of our business community, and the success of our business community is the betterment of the lives of the people that we live and work and see in the stores every day. So that's where that commitment needs to come from. But in short, it's really just a drive and a passion and to commit the time and energy for the chamber's initiatives. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mika and Will. The next question is going to come from Ms. Jessica Barrett, and she'll be asking Tess Reyes Berrier her question.
Oh, you want to hear
So Tess and Jessica, are you guys able to open your video cameras?
I can do my webcam, but you can hear me.
Okay.
I did though. Okay, hold on. Can you see me now? Yes.
I can see you. Good morning, Ms. Tess. Thank you.
Good morning.
Thank you for accepting your nomination. We're happy to have you.
Thank you.
So our question to you is, with the challenges we have had over the past year and a half, would you be able to carve out time to support the chamber beyond the scheduled board meetings? Please explain.
All right. First of all, when I was nominated, I actually spoke to our general manager, Mr. Chong, and explained to them the reason why I wanted to join the Chamber of Commerce. Especially nowadays, this time after the pandemic, we want to be able to get all the information for those people who are actually involved in business, not only particular in the hotel, but all the industries here in Guam. We were able to, it's important that we will be able to attend, right? And because I'm not the owner of the company, or I'm not the executive of the company, I would have to make sure that they understand where we're coming from. The Lotte Hotel Guam actually encourage us to be committed to our community. We have to be involved. So all the managers, the executives, the employees know our goals. So one goal is to be involved in the community. So the time management. I know the chamber is always ahead of time. They always have a calendar, so I can work around it. Even though I'm in operations, I always, there's so many things that I could be of assistance or be there. There's now cam, we can do a Zoom or a video cam, or there's WhatsApp. So you can always be involved, no matter, it doesn't have to be face-to-face anymore. The way we do business now and we conduct business doesn't have to be face-to-face. We can be effective unless you have to be physically there. I think that's it. So I think time would be, of course, it's early in the morning. I heard that it's like 7:30, and I challenge myself to wake up early, and I believe it's going to be once a week or once a month. And again, it's time management and the commitment that I have. Because knowing myself, if I'm committed to something, it doesn't matter. If I have to be there, I have to be there. That's all. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Tess. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you.
Our next question is from our nominating committee member, Kim Anderson-Young, and she will be asking Brad Kloppenberg her question.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. First, I'd like to thank everyone very much for volunteering to work on behalf of our island. I think there's no other time that it's more needed than now. Listening to everyone, I've learned quite a bit, even from people that I thought I knew. And I just want to say I'm really impressed and inspired by the local talent. I think we've got this. Brad, thank you very much for agreeing to run. The question that we have for you is, what makes the Chamber's mission important to you?
Well, I think, the mission's very clear, the promoting the economic, social, and environmental well-being of the territory of Guam. It's nice to know that there's an organization that's looking out for all the businesses. There's many businesses out there that, the owners, they're hardworking and don't necessarily have the time to be able to devote and get fully involved in organizations like the Chambers, and especially now, with the economy being the way it is, a lot of businesses have had to downsize, and owners are now kind of taking a lot more of the work upon themselves. They may no longer have the staff levels, the support staff underneath them to be able to fully participate, and so it's great that we have an organization like the Chamber, and also the statement to procure the laws and regulations desirable for the benefit of business in general. That's great as well. Seems like the business environment is just getting tougher and tougher and tougher every year, and because and it's not just in Guam, it's everywhere. There seems to be a lot of over legislation that becomes unfairly burdensome on businesses, and the Chamber is always on top of these things and advocating for small businesses. So it's a great question, and yeah.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Kim and Brad. And our next question is for Mr. Frank Cruz, and I'll be asking this question. I'll just wait for Mr. Cruz's camera to open up. All right, there we go. Hi, Frank. So the question we have here is, do you have any worries or concerns about joining the Chamber Board?
Oh, absolutely not. I've obviously, as the partner in the company and an executive, I've got the time needed. No concerns whatsoever. I love working with the Chamber Board. I miss the meetings. I miss the monthly meetings. They're so informative, and the speakers. I'm just looking at the last couple of years and what we can do, and it's really helped us. That I got so many business friends that we exchange so many ideas and try to get through this. And I know I've got the time to do this. and I want to give back to the island business community. I've been with the company for 34 years, and they've helped me. So now's the time. And so I appreciate it. Appreciate the question, and absolutely not. So hopefully we can do a lot more.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay. Our next question is going to be asked by nominating committee member Candy, and Candy will be asking Deanna her question.
Hi, Deanna.
Hi, good morning, Candy.
Good morning. So what chamber committee or program would you like to be an active member of?
So Candy, in the past, I've actually been a member of our new membership committee as well as the Guam Young Professionals. Unfortunately, I've kind of passed the Guam Young Professionals committee cutoff. I think we should get a wash because that last year kind of washed over us. But in the future, especially with my experience in retail business over the last 20 years, I really like to see more into the small business community, just in what I've worked with. So like I said, in the past, I've been involved with the membership. And so, and what I hope to do too is just to kind of grow and encourage new membership as well as we move into rebuilding our business in the next year, 2022, even on into the next 5 years. With the small business community, I would like to be able to see and work and network in order to plan and share what I've learned in my experience. And then also, I'm a little bit more interested as well in our legislative committee, especially as we look towards championing women and working parents in our fields. I think that it's so important to continue to encourage them, this group of women and working parents in all fields, and encouraging them and creating those tools that they need to move forward in their career.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Candy and Deanna. Our next question is going to come from nominating committee member Mika Caldwell, and she will be asking Mr. Antalan her question.
Okay, Mika, can you hear me?
I can hear you and see you now. Good morning, Ed. I love your background, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so what ideas do you have to get members more engaged with the Guam Chamber?
Well, that's a fantastic question, Mika. You know, having been spent 3 years with the Chamber, I discovered that we've been doing a good job, and I think we need to be able to really bring out the image, the brand image of the Chamber. So I would actually focus on refreshing this brand image by developing and launching a PR campaign. Be very active in trying to reach out to the business community, positioning ourselves as a non-political advocate for the business community. I would also recommend maybe having like a bi-monthly coffee with the chamber event, inviting members to come in and discuss various issues. I would develop like a care for each other type of program, driving members to support each other's businesses where we can promote each other as well. So those are just a few of the ideas that I would have to try to get more members engaged.
Great ideas. Thank you so much, Ed.
Thank you. Thank you, Mika and Ed. Our next question is going to come from nominating committee member Jessica Barrett. She will be asking Mr. Teo her question.
Good morning. Good morning, Tay.
Morning.
Is there a specific issue that you feel the chamber should pursue but is currently not? Please explain.
Sure. You know, I actually kind of thought quite a lot about this specific question. Yeah, a lot of thought has been given to this. I'm actually kind of glad I was able to answer this question. You know, Me personally, I really feel that the decolonization and the future of Guam self-determination is a sensitive but critical subject. From the Chamber's perspective, I believe it is important we send the right message to our federal counterparts. When our leaders request aid and assistance from the federal government on one hand, while criticizing the federal government on international stages, directly poses a contradiction that diminishes our credibility. I believe that to advocate for self-determination and self-government is a personal choice, but contentious messaging against our federal government from our leaders isn't the right message to send. Our island community is more likely to benefit from the message of cooperation that will be conducive, now not counteractive to meaningful dialogue with our federal counterparts. Thank you for the question.
Thank you, Jessica and Tay. Our next question is going to come from Kim Anderson-Young, and she'll be asking Ms. Maureen Maratita her question.
Hi, Maureen.
Good morning. Can you hear me and see me?
I can hear you. I cannot see you.
Right.
How about now? Yes, there I am.
So the question that we've got for you is, do you get enough information about Guam Chamber activities on a regular basis? And if so, are there any suggestions you have to improve?
Well, obviously I pay attention to what the Chamber is doing and information that comes to me at the board level, also through email. I think that this year there's been a lot of eyes on the Chamber, and some of our members have been vocal about what they would like to see the Chamber do. I think their concerns have been about their income. I think they would welcome more forums, again, to meet with other Chamber members and board members. Our events have always been, whether they've been lunches or social gatherings, an opportunity for members to share their concerns. You know, this year the opportunities for people to get involved on not only in terms of strategic development, but in economic diversification, have brought in people who are willing to work and share their opinions. And that's really a strength of the Chamber, that it's so encompassing of its membership, whether avenues for them to really get involved or just to share their opinions and bring their talents to help. And so I look forward to being part of that this year and hope to be elected. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you, Maureen.
All right, thank you, Kim and Maureen. And we'll move on to our next question. And this is going to be, this is me asking this question of Mr. Milton Morinaga. Morning, Milton.
Good morning.
Okay, so your question, sir, is do you think your company employees know about what the Guam Chamber does for the business community? Do you have any suggestions to improve the messaging to the employees?
Yes, thank you very much. It's a very important question. Unfortunately, I don't believe my company, nearly 3,000 employees, do know fully what Chamber does for the business community. My suggestion for improvement are to have, I'm on the same page with the candidate Antalan. The PR is a very important component in reintroducing Chamber to the community. Community, I mean employee, as the question said. Employees are our asset, company asset, either the large or small, it doesn't matter. Without an employee, the business don't exist. And if the employee doesn't understand what Chamber does, how can we voice together? The executive or the owner of the company needs to understand what employees' needs are and what the employee can contribute to the businesses. And by doing that, we can voice our needs and concern to all concerned government agency or to the community what we need to get things done. And we did that and during the COVID pandemic. Everybody suffered, small nor large. We're on the same boat. We all had the same situation. We didn't have customers. Employees were suffering. So we all need to get together. And the best is to have the employee understand what chamber is all about. Chamber is for them and for the executive who runs the business. I suggest that we continue to do a community outreach, and that is instead of just sitting waiting for the members or the employees to come to us, we go to them. And we need to, the most important thing is we need to bring membership value to them. Thank you. That's all I need to say.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Milton.
Thank you.
Okay. And our next question is going to come from Ms. Candy Okuhama. She'll be asking Sandy Mckeever her question.
Hi, Sandy.
Hello, Candy.
Sandy Candy. Okay. Here's a question. What do you think is one of the most important benefits that members receive belonging to the Guam Chamber of Commerce? And can you please explain?
Okay, this time I'm going to time myself. I get excited about answering questions. So I think that most, like the small businesses, join the chamber because of the benefits of their health insurance and everything. But I really think the true benefit of the chamber is having a voice and coming together as a private sector. And I don't think people understand that benefit. And I really feel that, like Milton was saying, you know, getting our employees involved is so critical, because that is the influence we have as business owners and business executives, that we have influence on the people that we hire. And you know what they say about when you work for someone, you're not working for a company, you're working for a person. And if we can help them understand our passion and our what we believe in, and I think that we're going to get more involvement in not just our employees, but the community, because that's who they are. The employees are our community. And so if we can relate to everyone that it is tremendous, we can shape Guam by getting together. Owners, employees, the whole community, it's a powerful tool. And so yes, we have all these trainings, we have the benefit of the health insurance, and that's great. But I really feel that we need to relate to everybody that the voice of coming together is powerful, and we got to use it. And I just love to talk to my employees about what we're doing at the chamber, and they're out with me, you know, going to the legislature. They're going to hold signs. That's my timer. And so I'm excited about that, because I think that's a huge benefit. Thank you.
Thanks, Andy.
Thank you. Thank you, Candy and Sandy. And last but not least, we have Mika asking Jay Shed her question.
Good morning, Jay. How are you today?
Hi, Mika. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. So will you be able to recruit other members? Sorry, will you be able to recruit other members in your industry to join the Guam Chamber of Commerce? And what would be your pitch?
Well, of course, you know, I would want to recruit more members because honestly, I believe that we need to build our membership. The fact that we have so many companies with so many employees, we are a very strong group, and we can make a real influence on what goes on on our island, with politically or just socially. I mean, our chamber can really do good things for the whole island and its people. So yeah, I mean, I think all of the people that are in my industry are probably already members, because I know I was a member when I was in the other group before. But I think that that would be a position that every chamber board member should have. They should be pushing for membership. It really will make a difference. And I think that another thing I would tell people is the opportunities to network with other businesses that are similar to them, or to get advice and information on things that they might need to know about their business or potential business. The chamber's going to know first, and I think the chamber collectively is so strong and can be even stronger. And I'm very excited to be a part of that. I think that's the answer to my question.
Great. Thank you so much, Jay.
All right. Thank you, Mika and Jay. And so I'm just want to respect everyone's time. We're right at the 1 hour mark for this meeting. Before we wrap up, Madam President, is there anything else you wanted to cover before we conclude the meeting?
Thank you very much. I thought that the event today was fantastic. Thank you to all of our candidates, and good luck to everybody. And thank you especially to our nominating committee for a wonderful job this morning. I just wanted to remind everybody that the ballots for election will be mailed to your one individual from your company on November 10th. If you don't know who that individual is, or would like to be the individual, then you would probably need to call us or email us, so that we can make sure that the ballots get to you or to your respective representative for your business and your company. We have had a lot of inquiries about proxies. And so we do have a proxy form that we've sent out to a number of companies. We've actually included that template in our outgoing newsletters every week. So you're welcome to download that or contact us, and we'd be happy to send that to you. Again, a proxy is available, even though we are doing this voting electronically. You are able to provide your proxy to another voting member if that is what you wish. So again, if there are any questions about the electronic voting process, please feel free to contact us, to reach out to your Guam Chamber of Commerce. So thank you so much again for joining us. I hope you enjoyed your beverage and enjoyed meeting your candidates. And we wish you a very, very good day. Thank you so much, everybody. Happy weekend.
Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you.